Yo, good morning, friends. Good afternoon. Good evening. Anyways, hi. Happy holidays. First, it's Easter. Happy Easter. First, I wanted to say thank you guys for all the support lately. It's been absolutely crazy. I pretty much blinked my eye and YouTube broke 5,000 subs, and I don't know where half or all of you guys came from, and just wanted to really say thank you guys for all the support, both on YouTube, on Twitch. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely mind-blowingly crazy, and I welcome everybody in, and I'm very glad you guys like the content. You guys click that subscribe button, you comment, you do everything you do, and just honestly thank you. But for now, I wanted to talk about my league start, how Crucible has been going, what I like, what I don't like, how my character's progressing, pull up my POB, and just kind of talk to you guys about where my character's going along. So we're day 3. It's now Sunday afternoon. I have been playing pretty much a lot. You guys have encouraged and enforced and pushed on Twitch a crazy long stream, and a lot of you guys are there for it and have watched the craziness of my character evolve and where I've gone, where I've taken it, where I've deviated, new tech, new this, new that. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys and talk about a little bit about the things that I've been doing and how it's been working, and bring you guys a real update on the character itself. Currently, I'm level 90. My playtime is 1 to 8 hours. I have all the defenses in the world. I've never died a single time ever. My EHP being 0 has been more than enough to never ever single die ever, period ever. We're a ranger. We die a lot. We're a little squishy. It's fine. I have managed with this character to progress through my atlas. I am at 94 of 115. I did a couple of maps with some friends. We've been sharing unique completion on maps. I've been moving my way through the atlas. I've managed to get 2 of the watch drones on my own. I did the I did Searing Exarch and what's the other guy's name? The blue dude, the red and blue guy. What are their names? Exarch and Eater. Exarch and Eater. I did both of them myself. The Uber Maven, or the regular Maven, and the Uber Elder watch drone I bought, it was 50C for Maven, and it was 110. No, it was 50C for Maven and 70C for Elder. Yeah. Sorry, I know. My brain. I'm trying to catch up and remember everything and get you guys very accurate information. So that's kind of where we're at. My character has been progressing nicely. I pick up the high raise on day 1, the tamings, and so forth and so on. So I started Raider, just like I mentioned. I did the tree, just like I mentioned. I went down the Panopticon. I grabbed Golem's blood. I did everything that you saw in the POB for day 1 for Raider. I made the conversion to Deadeye very early on day 2. I made the conversion as soon as I picked up the High Resire. The High Resire gave me a lot of the spell suppression that we needed. With the spell suppression, we were able to drop the spell suppression phasing node. I also needed a little bit of spell suppression on my helmet. I got spell suppression on my helmet. And between the helmet, the high res, and the mastery for evasion mastery, I was able to be fully spell suppression capped. Now, if we pull up the POB from the video, I wanted to talk and compare a couple of things to just show you guys how my transition went. In my POB for my video, I mentioned that we take the following nodes. We take Quartz Infusion, we take Rapid Assault, we take Way of the Poacher, and Avatar of the Veil. Quartz Infusion gives us spell suppression and plus phasing. I made up the spell suppression and the phasing, as I mentioned, with the High Raise Ire giving me 30%, the helmet giving me 40%. As far as the phasing, I'll eventually probably include a phasing flask somewhere along the lines here. This way I have some sort of phasing. I can also add in phase run to the MANAFORGE tech, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The other big thing that we changed from Raider is Raider gave us Way of the Poacher. Now, Way of the Poacher was really strong and really good, and was a great way for our character to build up frenzy charges. Now, switching from Raider to Deadeye, we lose that, and we don't have that anymore. But thanks to you guys teaching me about the new MANAFORGE tech, we were able to make that up with our character and able to get frenzy charges. Now, I'm going to show you how I did that and what I did. Now, you'll notice some mobs here, and you'll notice that I fire away from them, and I can still kill them. Now, you'll see that I have frenzy charges. I'm moving away from the mobs. I'm shooting in the wrong direction. And you'll notice that I'm building up frenzy charges. I'm running out of mana, and I'm also building up power charges. Now you saw the power charge gaining there. The power charge is actually intentional, as that is a part of the new tech that Ranger was able to pick up, and we'll talk about. So that tech is called the MANAFORGE Arrow tech, or MANAFORGE Arrow, and a lot of you guys have noticed it. A lot of you guys on Reddit have been talking about it. A lot of you guys in the stream have been talking about it, and it's absolutely insane. You saw that when I shot my lightning arrow, shooting away from me or shooting with my lightning arrow were green shots. Sometimes even Mirage Archer would trigger, and it was killing mobs. Now that is MANAFORGE Arrow. And MANAFORGE Arrow says, socketed skills trigger once a total mana spent on other bow skills exceed 300% of their cost. So pretty much that means if I were to use Lightning Arrow, which is a bow skill, and I believe Artillery Ballista, it does, is a bow skill, and I were to cast them, as soon as I spend a whole ton of mana, you saw right there, that MANAFORGE Arrow will trigger and fire. Now, MANAFORGE Arrow for me is triggered to Frenzy, Mirage Archer, and Power Charge and Crit. Now, Frenzy says whenever I hit a mob, gain a Frenzy Charge. So every time I fire, MANAFORGE Arrow will trigger, Frenzy will fire. If Frenzy hits a mob, I'll manage to gain a Frenzy Charge. And that will maintain Frenzy Charges for us permanently, giving us essentially the effect of Way of the Poacher. Now, we lose +1 Frenzy Charge. That's okay. We managed to keep up with it. Now, we're going to tie that with Power Charge and Crit, and this is because we're converting over to a crit tree, and with that, we're able to maintain Power Charges and Frenzy Charges, and we're able to go. And I found out that this also triggers Mirage Archer, so why not have Mirage Archer shooting all the time with you and kind of like checking along. So that was pretty cool, and I really liked it a lot. Now, we also get Avatar of the Veil, which gave us ailment avoidance. We had, and we still have, Purity of Elements. Purity of Elements is giving us a lot of our resistances, and it's giving us ailment immunity. So that really wasn't doing a whole lot for us. Sure, we had nearby enemies have fire, cold, and lightning exposure while phasing, but we'll make that up in other ways down the line. As we get more gear, better gear, we'll just make that up. And lastly, the major thing that really Raider was giving us was Onslought. We had permanent Onslought. Onslought's great, but with the removal of the Onslought gem, we had to find different ways to get Onslought. Now, the game gave us a new item. I don't know if a lot of you guys have noticed it. You've probably already seen it in my glove slot, and you're wondering what that is and what that's doing. In the POB, I talked about the Shadow. They're called Shadow and Dust. Shadows and Dust class mitts. I did pick this up originally. I used them for a while. And then I found out about these. The Ahi Tuna gloves. Or Tanu Ahi gloves. These gloves have been absolutely insane. They have given me permanent adrenaline and permanent onslaught while I'm mapping, permanent adrenaline and permanent onslaught when I'm bossing. They are just permanent adrenaline and permanent onslaught the entire time. They say you have a 10% chance to gain adrenaline for 2 seconds when leech is removed by fulfilling unreserved life, and a 10% chance to gain onslaught for 4 seconds when leech is removed by filling unreserved life. Pretty much what that says is every time I fill my life while leeching, so if I were to leech and shoot a mob and leech my life back, there's a 10% chance that I gain onslaught and a 10% chance I gain adrenaline. Now, a lot of people in chat didn't know about these. A lot of people were using Shadow and Dust. A lot of people were using the Comb gloves, and I was using these, and a bunch of people tried it and they liked it. Now, I'm able to spend life when I use skills thanks to a new life mastery, which at the time of recording the part 2, none of this tech between MANAFORGE Arrow and this was really a known thing, and I only learned about this while streaming from you guys. So thank you guys for the YouTube comments, thank you guys for being on the Twitch stream, thank you guys for bringing this up. There is a life mastery that says skills cost life instead of 30% of mana cost. Pretty much, it takes my mana cost and makes 30% of it cost life. So every time I shoot fire, I'll gain, or I'll use some life. Now, if we were to open a map and just kind of like see what that looks like, I'll grab us a waste pool map here. I'll chisel it. I'll alk it really quick. See that it's fine. We'll toss it in my map device. We'll save the Blight encounter for later. And I go into a map. You'll notice up here in my buff bar, as I start going, assuming things immediately die before I'm able to like spend life, you'll see that I have. There's Onslought. I'm assuming adrenaline has popped somewhere and we just can't see it thanks to the buff bars and everything being in the way. But it's right there. There it is. There's the adrenaline. Nice. Okay, cool. yeah, it becomes a little bit harder to see with 4 million buffs flying around your screen. And also, by the way, this is tier 16 mapping, so it's kind of cool. You're probably going to watch me die in a second to Legion, though, because, like, you know, Legion just kind of kicks your ass. But this has overall been just kind of what the gloves have been doing. There's the adrenaline again, there's the onslaught going, and it's just been a very, very, very insane, powerful addition to the build. And it's just been out of this world. It's been nuts. A bunch of you guys have seen it. A bunch of you guys have swapped over to the tech and tried it. And a lot of you guys have really, really liked it. Now, a lot of people have tried the build. A lot of people have been really enjoying the build. Some people have gotten stuck. Some people have hit a wall. And yes, you do hit a wall. Yes, the gear transitioned. It's a little confusing. I agree. But we've been coming over that hump, and we've been getting there together. And it's been a really, really, really good time. Now, a lot of you guys have been insane. I've just watched the community come together and share gear, pass bows around, talk about upgrading your gear and your bow, where to go, how to do things, and it has been an experience like no other. And I honestly can't thank you guys enough for just being the most helpful people in the world, helping each other out. I know a lot of you guys have started this. I know a lot of you guys are still, you know, leveling in maps and just getting there. And, you know, I hope that you guys are having a great experience with it. And if you are stuck or you hit a wall and you don't know where to go, ask questions, because we are here, we are willing to help, and it has been just an absolutely fantastic time. Now you'll see now, like, this is a tier 16 map. I'm a day into the league. I'm just cruising through this. It hasn't been very difficult at all. Granted, we'll talk about the rest of my gear. My gear's a little bit nutty. Crucible has been very kind to me. I do have my complaints. I do have my reservations about it, but I'm going to save a lot of... Ooh, that's kind of cool. I'm going to save a lot of that for a later video. And then we'll just go over here. I'm sure you guys want to see the single target for the boss. Go, go, go. And his build is great. It's absolutely wonderful. I know you guys probably also want to see Blight and stuff, but we'll get to all of that. We'll get to all of that. Now, some of my gear is really good. And some of my gear is complete doo-doo. Now this guy's ripped and we're dead. But that's the nature of what we play. We play a ranger. We know we're gonna get killed. We know we have to dodge. Mechanically, I am not the best player. That was probably extremely easily dodgeable, but I mean, you know, things happen and it's fine. It's fine. Now, do I think this boss can do major bosses like Sirius, Maven? Probably not. Uber Elder, no. Regular Elder, probably. Regular Shaper, yeah, probably. Those are pretty easy mechanically. Maybe regular Sirius if you're like really good at dodging. I know a lot of people don't like that fight, so maybe I wouldn't really recommend it. But if I was mechanically a lot better player, I would probably be able to do them. I still need to do Shaper. I still need to do Elder. I have managed to kill a Shaper Guardian, no problem. I've managed to kill an Elder Guardian, no problem. They have been really, really easy. The Feared, I'll probably have to buy a carry for, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. And overall, I'm having a really good time with the character. Now, we talked about the gloves. The gloves are insane. We talked about the Taming Rings in previous video. The Taming Rings, they just keep going up in price. They're crazy. They're nuts. I got mine for like 45C each. I bought the div cards, Spark. What are they called? The Spark and something? Spark and the Flame. This is one of the things that we were mentioning. I bought my, you can see these are 23Cs. I bought the div card. I bought these. And if you're still trying to get the Taming, I would buy these. These cards are super cheap right now. And I don't think a lot of people realize it. Maybe not this guy. This guy's totally price fixed. But you could probably get these cards for 23C a piece. 46C, you make a Barracks or Spite. The Barracks Pass, the Barracks Grip, they're both 1 to 2C each. And you can make your Taming for 50C, like I did. You can equip it, cool, use it, resell it, and go from there. I did that for both of my rings. The chest plate is Hyries. I managed to get a Red Blade banner Tower Shield at day 1 of the league. I sold that, used that to get the Blight maps. The Blight maps gave me 2 Divines. I bought Hyries for 2 Divines on day 1. My helmet is pretty poop. Just basic spell suppression in, so I can use my gems, life, cold resist. I'll fix it later. My amulet, I needed the int and the strength pretty bad, so I never had the opportunity to go high raise. A lot of you guys went high raise, and a lot of you guys have loved it. I never had the opportunity to because I needed the int and the strength, and I wasn't able to make it up elsewhere because my boots ended up being just pretty good with lightning resist, cold resist, decent movement speed, and life, so I never really had the chance to like put life or anywhere else. My belt is absolute poop. Nice cold chaos resist, some light, you know, some lightning resist, nothing great at all. I bought my Poised Prism on day one. I think I spent 10C on it. I got it really early, probably like hour 6 of the league, and I've been cruising ever since. Now, one of the biggest things that I want to bring up is the bow. A lot of you guys have not realized this. Upgrading your bow often, upgrading your bow is very important. You need to upgrade your bow. There was a guy in Twitch chat who was just like, hey man, the build feels bad. I don't like it. I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. Can you help? And I was like, yes, let's figure it out. Where are you in progression? How's your character doing? What level are you? And he was like, dude, I'm midway through yellow maps. I'm starting to hit a wall. My damage is bad. I don't know what's going on. I was like, great. What's the EDPS of your bow? And he was like, EDPS of my bow? What do you mean? And I was just like, well, what bow are you using? Can you link the bow to me in game? Let's see if we can find you in a replacement. And he was like, oh, dude, I got Cool Rain on. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, dude, I got Cool Rain on. Like, Cool Rain? He's like, yeah, bro, Cool Rain. I was like, homie, we got to change your bow. He's like, what? And I was like, how much money you got? He's like, oh, I got X amount of C. And I was like, cool. This is what I want you to do. He's like, what? I'm like, go to the trade website. He's like, okay. I'm going to hit show filters. He's like, cool. I'm going to go item category, type bow. He's like, all right. Elemental DPS, put 700, 800, 900, 500, whatever. Scout around and look for gear. He's like, okay. And I was like, hit enter. He's like, awesome. Now what? I was like, there's a line on the bottom of each item and it tells you the elemental DPS. He's like, sweet. I was like, look for something you can afford that's really high. And he was like, what? Now, 700 elemental DPS bows are like 15C, and you can actually see their skill tree. And he was baffled by this. He couldn't believe it. And we got him into like a 750 bow for like 10C. And you guys can do this too, by the way. If you're like struggling to find a bow upgrade, just get anything with high elemental DPS. If you're not crit, preferably Imperial, pick it. Spine is fine too. Just get anything that has more damage on it and doesn't like have bad mods on here. Now, if you have a bad mod, and I don't have a Crucible bow to show you how to do this, but if you have a bad mod on your bow or your bow bricks or either something on the Crucible, you can actually, I think you have to go near the Crucible tree. So I'd have to like go back in here and do it. I don't want to accidentally like brick my bow. Where was the Crucible? I know it's somewhere in here. You guys remember? I don't remember. This is one of those moments where I'm supposed to be a YouTuber and be like, oh, guys, if you comment down below and hit the like and subscribe button, I'll find the Crucible. Did you do it? Because I found the Crucible. Yeah. So you can actually take a scouring and scour Crucible nodes, which a lot of people don't realize. So I can like go to my little Crucible thing and like scour my nodes. That's pretty cool. So if you get an item and it ends up breaking your build, scour it. Or if you get a tree on an old bow and you want to slam it onto a new bow, there's these cool little geodes or these cores. And they contain a forge and you can combine trees together. I don't think a lot of people realize this yet. So if I got a bow with a tree, that's cool. And I got a new bow with a tree, that's cool. And one of my nodes suck that makes no sense at all, like 20% movement speed if Dex is below 100, but I'm not Omni yet. Or if I have an Omni bow and I put movement speed on my Omni bow, you slam them together. And you hope the one node moves into the other node. Anyways, that's for late game, dude. It's going to be nuts. But I got very, very lucky. I spent 3 divines on my bow. My bow turns out to be 1,333 elemental DPS. I was looking at 1,000 DPS bows. I spent a little bit more on my bow because I like the tree that was on it. My tree gave me 60% global damage, 20% increased cost of skills, which I wanted the extra cost of skills for the Ahi Tuna attack. It gave me 27% attack speed, 15% less global. The less global kind of sucks. I lose a little bit of damage. But the 27% attack speed actually goes locally on the bow, which makes the spine bow 1.78, which is nuts. 20% increased movement speed if dex is below 100. This will be pretty good if I convert to Omni later. I was like okay with it, but I like the fact that the bow is supported by chain, so that was really cool. So that makes my bow a 7 link. So I was essentially able to do lightning arrow with Trinity, LE damage, GMP, fork, and chain, and I thought that was really, really cool. Now you'll notice in my skill tree, I have converted to Deadeye. Deadeye has given me chain plus bouncing off the terrain, which is really good. I've gotten endless munitions, which has given me skills fire 2 additional projectiles. Because we mark every single thing, we have focal point for 75% increase of our marks is a flat ton of damage. We have tailwind for just an insane amount of movement speed, and just this typical ranger. I mentioned in my last video, I plan on eventually picking up a Flesh and Flame for any of the notables that I have, or Far Shot, whichever is the cheapest, and socketing that in. You'll notice too, I picked up the Thread of Hope. Thread of Hope ran me 4 divines. I picked up that as soon as I could. It has been absolutely massive. I've taken a crit node here. I didn't know where I wanted to put that point yet. And I'm slowly converting my tree to the tree that we talked about in the last video. So I also took this node for split shots, so my projectiles will split, they'll fork, they'll chain, they'll fork, they'll split, they'll fork, to do all the things. It's really cool. And I'm making my way towards the tornado shot transition. I also picked up the Lion's Eye Jewel to go crit. And there's nothing really too surprising. And my tree is still evolving and growing. And the last major thing that I managed to pick up over the weekend was, before I went to bed, somebody listed Awaken GMP for like 7 divines. I grabbed that, I put that on, and we're just really chilling. The league start's been amazing and wonderful. A lot of you guys probably watching this video probably have clicked it off because my gear is already crazy, and you're like, well, that's not beginner friendly. I don't know what to do. You're a jerk. And I'm like, you're right, it is. It's nuts. The gear I have, I shouldn't have. The top end player is going to be like, wow, that's all you have? You should have a headhunter by now. And the bottom half is going to be like, wow, you're an ass. Like, I don't have that gear. This is unfair. Well, what I'll say to you is this. I have been doing nothing but blights. I've been farming my blights. I have been selling my oils. And I have been doing a lot of blight. You can see I have my maps. I have them all ready. I've been doing Blight Ravage maps. I've been doing regular Blights. I've been doing my Meteor Towers, and I've been farming Blight. There's been no secret. I've done everything on stream. I can show you guys what I've been doing. I'll make another video about Blight and how I've been doing it, where I've been buying the maps from, and what's been going on. But I really just wanted to kind of get this out and show you guys the progression of my character, where it is, what's going on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the Poison Prism. I picked up a quiver with bow, fires, and additional area and projectile speed. I started crafting the quiver. And then I ran out of money. I'm going to finish crafting up the quiver. I'm going to put the quiver on. I'm going to convert over to Tornado Shot. And this should give me enough projectile speed, knock on wood, to make that transition. And hopefully we go from there. Now, with it being Easter and wanting to record the video and editing, getting this out, I don't know if I'll make the transition to Tornado Shot. But throughout the week, I'll be, getting time on stream to work on this character. I'll post updates as I go. And I'll give you guys the full transition. Where I'm going to take the character from here, I'm not really 100% sure yet. My next real goal, like I said, is the quiver. Once I do the quiver, I'll probably work on a new helmet. I know I should eventually go for Headhunter, but Headhunter just seems, I don't want to say out of reach, but there are so many other smaller upgrades that'll get me to Headhunter faster. Like if I make the transition to Tornado Shot, and I get a better helm, and I get real rings, and I get a better amulet, and then I get better boots, all of that gear will make my character stronger. All of that gear will make my character faster, and I'll just be able to farm more efficiently to get towards Headhunter. So that's essentially my plan. I'll finish the quiver. I'll get a new helm. I'll fix my amulet. I'll get better boots. I'll get rings that have minus mana cost and crit chance on them. My bow is probably not going to get changed until I get a fractured +2 bow. The Ahi Tuna gloves are probably 100% staying. And then the passive tree will eventually add a large cluster and some cluster jewels in it. I would like to get another 5 or 6 levels, so I'll probably end up, farming up some currency and either leveling in Blight or buying a 5-way. I don't know yet. I also want to get Awaken gems. I'd like to get Awaken LE damage. I'd like to get 2120 Trinity. I have Awaken GMP already. I'd like to get Awaken Fork. And then for the last skill gem, I'm probably going to go Inspiration, so like a Divergent Inspiration if I can get my hands on it. And same thing for the Artillery Ballista setup, but I'll probably convert the Artillery Ballista setup to another Tornado Shot setup. So I'm going to keep the Artillery Ballista setup pretty simple right now. It's gonna increase critical strike damage, increase crit support, cold damage, artillery, ballista, and LE damage. And I'll eventually convert that over to a tornado shot. First, the quiver first. After we craft up the quiver, we'll go from there. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be asking me about the quiver, how I crafted the quiver, what I did, how I made it, what's going on, who's it's and what's it's. And I'll do a video on the quiver and how I crafted the quiver, or I'll do it on Twitch stream and I'll like clip the VOD from there and I'll get that over on YouTube. But for now, this is where I'm going with the character. If you get stuck, don't know what to do, you don't know how to progress, you need some help, the Discord is active, the Discord is crazy. It's been pretty much non-stop. If I just bring over the Discord, you guys can see, even as early as 10 minutes ago, people are still there. There are people in voice hanging out, people have been playing, and you can just come over, ask for help. We'll try to help you, we'll try to guide you, we'll look at your POE. We can't answer questions on other builds, or if people are playing it, they might be able to answer, but we'll do our best to give you guys a helping hand, because I don't want anybody to be stuck and not know where to progress. If you like the build, you tried it, and you're kicking butt and chewing gum, you know, let us know in the comments down below. For now, I'm going to get this edited, recorded, out to you guys, and, ooh, a sale. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. So, bye, friends. So long. Farewell. Have fun. Thank you again for everything. Bye, friends.